Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jim and Frank's Thursday Throwdown!
Jim, another Thursday throwdown.
Another Thursday throwdown. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. That was sure fun last week with Jeff on here, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I've got an idea, and this is for our viewers and our listeners. If you've got an album or two, and you've got a band that you want to do a throwdown, you want to come on our show, let us know. Hey, we'll entertain just about anything at this point because we love talking about music.
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as that goes, what are we doing tonight?
Tonight, wow. Couple of heavyweight albums by a heavyweight band. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon versus The Wall.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I always normally think we've done some double albums against singles before with like Zeppelin and stuff. And it's usually I think it's an unfair advantage because you've got just twice the material. But we're going up against
that's not always a good thing.
Not always. No. No. And I think that may come into play tonight because Dark Side of the Moon is such a juggernaut of a record from start to finish.
It's a perfect package, start to finish.
I think it's sold 45 million copies worldwide as of to date.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. What a great album.
In every different format.
Yeah. Now I'm not a huge fan at times of Roger Waters and his politics and things like that.
Oh no.
And sometimes I'm not even a fan of his when he's fighting with David Gilmour, which is always
a lot of the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Those two can't seem to get it together for anything. But in 1973, they put out Dark Side of the Moon. And my goodness, it just, like I said, 15 times platinum in the United States. Two singles.
And a crazy airplay.
Yeah.
Like, was there anything you didn't hear on the radio from
that whole record was played. The singles were Money and Us and Them.
Us and Them, one of my all-time favorite Pink Floyd tracks. Maybe my favorite. I don't know. But if it's not the top, it's in the top two.
Yeah. Now I saw somebody, I don't know if it was Jeff Skunk Baxter or somebody. It was just the other day on one of the reels, and he was showing how they got the clock sound. Actually, instead of a clock ticking, it was done on a bass.
On the bass, yeah.
I was blown away by that.
I saw that.
Yeah. It's like, this is amazing. They were so advanced in the way they made music and sounds. And while all their records have always been concept records and whatnot, this was a very song oriented. There wasn't super long jams and everything. It was still good length songs, which I know are not your favorite, but they had context to them.
Nothing feels long on this record.
No,
to me anyway.
Right. Like I said, when you think about that, 1973, they weren't on my radar in 1973. Pink Floyd was not a band that I looked for. I was just, we were 10 years old, right? What?
Right.
That was way outside our scope.
I wasn't until I really started listening to rock radio, like a few years later, that I started hearing things like Money and a lot of stuff off that record.
But its counterpart, The Wall, 1979, we were in high school.
Yes, we were.
And you could hear that whole darn thing for a double record. There's an awful lot of songs on that was on the radio as well.
Yeah, when I listened back to it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember hearing this, remember hearing this. Song after song after song. I don't know if there's anything that didn't get played.
Not one time or another, it was on the radio. And again, you're going off, I think Dark Side is 46, 47 minutes, as opposed to The Wall, which is over 80 minutes of music.
I was not a fan when it came out.
No, I
mostly because you couldn't escape it.
I think that's what it was. It was so saturated everywhere. Just everywhere you went was The Wall. Just
yeah. Oh yeah.
Crazy. Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, Run Like Hell, and one of their greatest songs, Comfortably Numb.
Yes.
Because of the guitar solo more than anything else. That is such a moody song.
I love everything about that. But yeah, the solo is perfect.
Yeah.
You couldn't add or take anything away from it. It's just absolutely 100% perfect as it sits.
Right. 23 times platinum in the United States, 5 times platinum in the UK. I mean, another huge seller.
Rightly so. It's an album that's grown on me over time.
Okay.
Right?
And it's funny is I enjoyed this record. I still listen to it from time to time. I don't listen to it all the way through. It's like I said, I don't have time to sit down for 80 minutes and do nothing but listen.
Yeah.
Those days are gone.
I was asking Jake, my son, like, hey, which of these two do you prefer? He's all like, well, the Wall's a commitment.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Fine for road trips.
Right.
Going to be on the road for a while.
I remember after I think after the Wall, the final cut came out, maybe it was the one after that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I believe so.
I enjoyed that record so much. And that is when I really started appreciating Roger Waters' vocals. And then I got into his Radio Chaos and his other solo albums and stuff.
Yeah.
And his method of production is just so spot on, just crystal clear. But the songs on The Wall, like you say, there's a running theme, and I think a lot of that with the noise in the background and the telephones and all the telling of the story of what's going on. You're absolutely right. It is a commitment, because if you cut it off 3 songs into it, you're missing out on the story.
You're missing out on the whole thing. I know.
But I have to say, we talked about double album, 80 minutes worth of music, as opposed to Dark Side of the Moon, which may be a flawless record. I don't know. For me, I love them both, but if I'm on an island, I think Dark Side is the one I'm going to take. I can deal with the lesser amount of music.
If you're on an island, you got nothing but time.
This is true.
You can listen to The Wall all the way through as often as you like.
Yeah, but that's mighty depressing to listen to that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to listen to that, especially if you're by yourself.
Boy, I'm having kind of a hard time with this one.
Right.
I think ultimately, I think they're both pretty flawless, but I think I would go Dark Side.
Yeah. Okay. And again,
boy, it's tough.
Nothing wrong with The Wall.
Nothing wrong with The Wall at all.
And I do remember at one of the shows in LA, because they had the video screen set up with The Wall, they're building The Wall as it goes.
Right.
I remember that very first song, the timing was off and they had to restart the concert.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was I think the only time that ever happened was in Los Angeles, because they only did it in major cities. It wasn't one of those tours where you got to go, hey, next we're going to Poughkeepsie. This was major.
For some reason, it seems like they did New York and LA, and that was.
Yeah. There may have been a stop in between. I don't remember.
Chicago. I don't know. Yeah. But it seemed those two, it seems.
Yeah,
for sure.
And since then, of course, Waters has done it gazillion times, but it's not the same without the full band and production, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so let's call it a knockout. Say Dark Side of the Moon.
Call it a knockout. It feels kind of wrong to call it a knockout.
It does. It does. Oh, what about our viewers?
TKO? I don't know.
Yeah, technically, yeah, I like that, because they're down, but they're not out, but they're not coming back. Yeah. Well, what about our viewers and listeners? Dark Side of the Moon, The Wall. Which one would you prefer? What album do you prefer over which one?
No wrong answers, that's for sure on this.
No, there isn't. All right. Well, that'll do it.
Yeah, leave a comment.
All right, Jim. What do you say?
See you next week.